cover a lot of roles in racing. Is there any aspect of the sport you'd like to get involved in or concentrate on more?
There is, and it's about to happen. The agent work, jockey agent work, was something that came about through the race planning work that I do for David O'Mara. And he'd taken on Jason Watson as another stable jockey alongside Danny Tudhope. And Jason was suddenly in need of an agent back in late November last year. I helped him out a little bit, and then he asked me if I would take him on as his agent, and I decided to do it. It was something that I had the time for over the winter to give it a go, and I've really, really enjoyed it. And on the back of that, as you mentioned, I'm Kieran Fallon's agent as well. Kieran got in touch a couple of months ago and asked if I would take him on, and again, that was something that I did, and I was delighted to have the opportunity to do, and very lucky to have two young, both of them champion apprentices, very talented young riders that wanted me to be responsible for booking the rides and helping their careers along. More recently, obviously, just in the past week, Dave Roberts, the big jumps agent, has retired, and I've had a group of jump jockeys come and ask me if I would take them on, and it's something that I am going to do, and I'm really looking forward to doing, and I'm going to have some really big names over jumps to be booking the rides for through the course of the summer, but more importantly into next winter, and that really will keep me very busy. But it's a challenge and a job that I'm really looking forward to. So that is something that I'm going to be concentrating on more, because there's a big responsibility there. And you are sort of helping their careers along. You have to take it seriously and have the time to do them justice. So that's what I'll be doing.
Well, there's a saying, isn't there? If you want something doing, ask a busy person. It sounds like Chris Dixon's going to be even busier in the future. So well done on that. Hope it goes well. Look, I think it's no secret, like Phil and myself, you like a bet. On the punting side, what single piece of advice could you give to punters in horse racing?
Single piece of advice.
Tricky one, isn't it? Tricky one. Just one. If I put a gun to your head, what would be the one piece of advice?
Believe your eyes, not your ears.
Oh, I like that. Yes, I'm always saying that to my owners, actually. Don't always believe the information and what you're told. Absolutely, I love that. Excellent. And finally, Chris, we've really enjoyed having you on. What 3 things would you like to see change for the good of British racing?
I'm sure everyone will say prize money.
Absolutely.
And that is the big one.
Yeah.
You know, it needs, and so many things that if you sort that out, get solved. I want to see the retention of good horses in this country. The way to solve that is better prize money, because so many horses, good flat horses, are being sold to go abroad. So a lot of it boils down to that. I would like to see further rise of syndication, of syndicate-owned horses, and an improved experience for syndicate-owned horses and their shareholders. You know, some race courses, it's 6 badges that you get, and it's not quite enough if you're syndicating a horse, because people want to bring someone else along. And I think, you know, you could do with something a little bit bigger, certainly to allow people in, maybe restrict your paddock access, maybe have something a little bit different on that front, but at least get people into the race course, because it's not as if there's not the space for them. It's hardly, on most days, a packed to capacity place, is it? And you turn up to a meeting on a Wednesday night and there's only 6 of you allowed in, you've got to buy some extra badges. It just seems like a bit of a joke. So I'd kind of want to see that. But the big one is prize money. And I don't think I need to list 3, in the sense that I think it's all about working on prize money.
Well, I don't think Phil, myself, anybody in racing would disagree with that. And it is the one common thing that all our guests, you know, do mention. Look, it's been really fascinating, Chris. Thank you so much for your time. Obviously, it's very apparent you're a busy person, so we really do appreciate you giving up your time. Thanks for joining Inside the Rails.
And thanks very much for having me on. Good luck with the syndicates. And to anyone that's listening that's interested in syndicates, then have a look at the various ones out there. There's something for everyone, and it will enhance your enjoyment of this sport, and you'll learn a bit as well, I think.
Hear to that. Thanks, Chris. Well, another great guest there, Phil, wasn't there? He's going to be a busy man, isn't he, old Chris? Interesting to hear about the jumps jockeys he'll be taking on. I guess that means we won't be seeing him quite so much on our screens, but I guess also that's racing TV viewers' loss will be jockeys' gain, don't you think?
That's true, and I don't know how Chris is going to fit all of that in. He's certainly putting me to shame. I look after one syndicate, and he's looking after a syndicate, plus a load of jockeys, and also trying to cram in a broadcasting career. He's certainly putting me to shame. I ought to go on and talk about the social media side of things and the reviews and referrals of the podcast. It's the only way we grow is through you, our listeners. So if you don't already follow us on Twitter, please do so. Our Twitter handle there is @InsideTheRails. If you get the opportunity to give us a review on a podcast platform, that would be really appreciated. And the best thing you can do for us is to tell your friends about us. And obviously that's the best way for us to grow our listenership. And the more listeners we've got, the better guests we can attract in the future.
Well, that just leaves me to thank co-host Phil Boyle from BG Racing, our special guest Chris Dixon, producer Callum Ronan from Callum Ronan Creative, and of course you, the listeners. There was a fairy tale ending for Sam Whaley-Cohen as the sun set on his wonderful amateur riding career. But as the evenings are getting longer, with a flat season in full swing, who will emerge as the equine and human stars of this year's flat season? This is Simon Double from Solaria Racing saying goodbye.